Hello, it's Monkeypuzzle, and I'm doing one of my favorite things lately, bouncing with the mushrooms on top of my little mushroom ranch here. If you jump on top of these arcane levitators, you get a nice little bounce. Wink. And if you do it right, you can knock everybody off. Anyway, that's not all I've been doing. But we're over here by the Wizard's Peak in the Highlands biome, and we were here last episode, and I wanted to continue some of the stuff I said I was going to do all in one episode last time, which is silly. Oh, and by the way, I'm still Monkeypuzzle, and this is episode 20 of Monkeypuzzling the CrackPack. I'm going to do this because who wants to have a rainy, thundery episode? And with my magic powers of OPness, I shall make the rain go away. Ah, there we were. Perfect sunny day in our world here. Anyway, yeah, let me show you something I've done, and then we can move on to things to be done. So in here, let's see, actually up here, I can show you, I've gone ahead and set up my first auto spawner. And I felt okay going ahead and doing this because even though I'd never done it before, you guys have probably seen so many of these already. But I set mine up probably a little bit different than, at least differently than I've seen it done. And it's just all on how you hang it right there. So that's the auto spawner right there. And then the trick is to get a redstone signal, which I did with this Mine Factory Reloaded RedNet cable. And you need to get mob essence to it, and you need to get power to it. So I used a tesseract to do those other two. And I'm just finicky about cutting out mob spawning space. And I think these still work with the same mechanics as regular spawners, in that it's an 8x8 square 3 cube that's 3 high, centered around the northwest, I'm going to venture to say. I always forget, but centered around one of the corners of it. So I went ahead and made this 11 by 11 in here. And I did that because I wanted to have 5 spaces on the sides in case I want to do gas in here, which I'm not quite ready for. It would be very hard to kill them in here, and I don't want to go in there and blow things up. But anyway, yeah, so the Tesseract is bringing the power and the mob essence. The mob essence is set up over here, feeding into this Tesseract. It's only from here to there, but it was just so I didn't have to have one more tube going into it, a fluid duct or something, taking up spawning space. And the power is coming from there, still from our wind power farm and our heat generators. We're going to make a solar thing in here too. I don't know if we're going to do it today or not, but we still have plenty of power so far. So yeah, and this mob essence is all coming from our creeper grinder over there at the Roguelike base. So yeah, I went ahead and used conveyor belts. They're the extra utility conveyor belts, not the MFR conveyor belts, because I thought they looked cooler. Yeah, not so flashy. And it looks very mechanical, very scary. Definitely looks grinder-esque. So plenty of space right there for things to drop down, so there's no bottlenecking. And I also went ahead and made elevators, which I hadn't yet done actually so far in this series, which they're a simple thing, but we've got plenty of wool now from the cotton farm over here. Thousands, tens of thousands of cotton turning into tens of thousands of wool. And I can, okay, got a little view there of the tree farms. I'm doing ghostwood over there, cherrywood and oakwood. I got to change them out because we got way too much ghostwood. Oh, and when you have leaves next to a tree that doesn't get cut down, you get this nice little accumulation of them, which is kind of funny. Anyway, yeah, so we can just pop right back to the top of our wizard's tower like that. and drop on down. Let's just do it this way right now. And then I got this one right here, the front, where you can come up here and take a view, take a look, or go on down. That's the room we were just in. And then here you can look into the grinder setup. I've got little drawbridges with clear glass in case I want to go in there and grind myself up. No, but check on things and change out. Who's in here right now? Oh, we got Blazes. So we'll check that out in a second. And then down below, stop hovering. Let's get that on in case I need to fly. Is the actual grinder setup, where it's still a 3x3. I didn't want to have to really contract them into one space because that creates bottlenecking. But in here, I have, let me see, right in there, I've got a totally OP Tinker's Construct scythe. And it's got paper binding and a paper rod and a thermic rod. So I had a whole bunch of modifiers on it. And then I maxed it out with lapis for luck or fortune. And I guess in this case, it's actually looting, right? For killing things. Even though I could harvest wheat with it, which I'm not going to do too much of, but I could. And, or I guess if I took it out there on the grass, I'd get all kinds of seeds. And then filled all the rest of the modifiers except for one with power, with a flux capacitor or something like that, or an energy cell I stuck on there. I guess it was a leadstone energy cell, and then the rest was all quartz. Just like a ton of modifiers of quartz. I forget exactly how many. So it does plus 22 attack damage, and the key is it does it in a 3x3. So it seems to work really well in this whole area. I extended out this glass because actually I would get hit out here sometimes, and I actually died because of it once, and almost died more than once. And then this is just a setup, the energetic infuser, in order to charge this guy up. Oops, let me grab that. There he is. He's already charged, but I set up the whatchamacallem, pneumatic servos is the word I was looking for. Thank you, Nilo Rio, for reminding me from the background. All this new vocabulary in this game. It's hard to remember it all. Anyway, I set these with pneumatic servos in order when the scythe gets down to this little energy, this little redstone flux, it's whitelisted to suck that out. So as soon as it hits that, it gets sucked out of here and thrown into here, which is whitelisted for that same thing to go in. And then here, it's whitelisted for a full one to go out and whitelisted there for a full one to go in. So if I throw this in there, it gets sucked out and goes right back in the bottom, the only place it can go. So this thing will always, I keep clicking that, always stay charged. So that's the mechanics of that. Power coming from the Tesseract and a vacuum hopper sucking everything up into right now I've just got this obsidian chest here just to see what some of the first drops are, and then after that we'll put an ender chest here in order to send things into the ME network. So you can see just by testing it, I threw a sheep in there, ashamedly poor sheeps, and got that really quickly. And then I have the blaze thing in there, which we'll see right now how it does. In just a couple minutes of running it, we've got basically all the blaze rods I'll ever need, unless I use them for power. We even got a couple trophies. Here we go. Awesome. And one little miniature red heart, which is actually something we need to do. And we will be able to do now. Here, put that right there. Our trophy. I bet I catch on fire if I right click it. Yep. Got that right. So let's play with this. Let's go ahead first. Right now I've only got it, you can turn it on here. Eventually I'll set up some wireless stuff so you can turn it down from anywhere, turn it on from anywhere. But there's a slight delay, but pretty soon blazes will start popping out. But you can see the Tesseract is on. And here they come. Let's go down there and see what happens to them. Yep. Everybody's getting sent down here, no problem. Oh, and I think I've got this turned off actually. So let's go ahead and just tell it to ignore that for now. There we go. Bam, 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 bam. everybody's dead. So, yep, it does the job pretty well. Pretty basic setup, but it's working. And let me see, so we can see this fill up pretty quick. 22, 25, 27, 30. So you can see it won't really take long to accumulate another stack. We're already up to into the 50s. There we go. There is our full stack from turning it on. And I left this with the hole down to bedrock just because I think it looks cool. And I like that little bit of dangerousness. So let's just, one time here, let's switch this out. And let's grab it says skeleton, but it's actually a wither skeleton. And see how that does. And we can go ahead and open this up. And I got a float. Oops. So I don't get sucked in, because that will kill me, for sure. Take out the blaze, put in the wither skeleton, and the one thing about wither skeletons apparently is you have to do spawn exact copy. Otherwise, you will get a skeleton, which is not what I want. So this is going to be our ticket to lots of heads and lots of necrotic bones, which the kids on the server already have tons of, but I want to make my own. So this is the first time I've done wither skeletons in an auto spawner. See what happens. There's always that little delay that makes you wonder if it's going to work, but it seems like it's working just fine. These guys are getting put in there and killed. He's trying to fight the current, but not for long. Eventually, he will end up down there too. And no buildup is happening, so that's all good. And over here, I've got it so that any XP generated by killing them is being sucked up by a sewer down there that's below everything and coming into this ender tank and going back into the system. So it makes it use it a little less quickly than it would. It doesn't break even, and right now it's on spawn exact copy, so it's using up a little extra mob essence than it would. But, you know, with one barrel of this stuff, it's still taking a while to go down. We can definitely create more of these guys than we'll need. So just the little stockpile of this stuff I've got saved up over at the Roguelike base should be able to get us for a while. And we can always make some more if we want. And when I stand near there, embarrassingly enough, it generates sewage. So I got to have a little sewage drum over here in case that accumulates down there. But we've given it a moment. Let's see how our drops are doing. Hi, guys. Yep, I'll meet you down there. So let's see. All right, so we've getting bones, getting coal, got 13 necrotic bones, and 1 wither skeleton skull. So not a ton of skulls yet, but, you know, that wasn't very long either. Definitely a lot easier than cruising all over another fortress trying to get them. And if I set this up with cleavers, I would get them much faster. The problem is with a cleaver, I'd have to get them down to a 1x1. I guess I could have also put the beheading modifier onto this, but I think this is going to be fine. I'm sure if I let this run for a while, I get plenty of skulls. And I've already got almost as many necrotic bones as I can ever use for making those heart canisters. I think it only takes 1 each, but I haven't made them yet, so we will get to that. Lots of regular bones too. I didn't realize they dropped so many regular bones, but I guess they do. Anyway, that's that. I'm going to turn it off for now just so that this doesn't potentially lag the rest of the episode, although I doubt it would, but you guys get the point. So there it is. There is the auto spawner. I think it looks pretty good. I like the marble look, and I like being able to look into it. There's kind of a classic way that these are set up, and I wanted to try to make it a little bit different, but you know, not a whole lot you can do radically. It's just in subtle differences in how you hook it up and how you channel the mobs. So there you go. I'm back from a little cut, the reason for which I'll explain in a second. But having shown you this, let's head out and do something, since I was only talking about things I've done so far. Now, the reason I took a cut is the first thing I tried to do was make a node in the jar with the sinister node that was right here, threatening to taint this area. But this happened. And let's take the rest of these out. Hopefully we won't get too many angry zombies messing us up while we do this. We're going to lose the light, so we probably will. But I'll just be able to hover above them and stick my tongue out. Whoa! Okay, I guess it killed the node to do that. So rather than use all the time I spent on that, I'm going to do something else. But after I broke that node, I went ahead and put the ethereal blooms around to clear that black grass up. So that's looking much better. I think I've pretty much got it all cleaned up now. I need to move them down here. But the mistake I made apparently is that top obsidian block, Nilo Rio told me this, is the node. So I should have just surrounded it with the slabs and the glass to make that giant warded jar that then you tap on and becomes the little warded jar. So we'll have to do that again some other time on camera. But for now, let's work on something else. Over here at my world's smallest village, I'm sure villages come smaller, but this one is the smallest one I've found. I want to do a little village upgrade, a little redecorating, set a new theme and design here, and I also want to expand the village. So a couple things in mind. First, I'm going to do a little reboot because my FPS is slower than I want it to be. I'll be right back. Alright, that's a lot better. And I think most of the chunks have loaded in for the surrounding world. So let's get on with our village makeover. First thing I want to do is make a really neat block from extra utilities. And it's going to require a jukebox right there. What's the jukebox for? Well, you put it in the middle of this configuration with the block of emerald, and you get a trading post, which is very cool because you plop it down somewhere within the zone of your village and right click on it, and you get all the trades that the village currently has. So that's pretty awesome. Oh, this is a pretty convenient one, having a mushroom ranch right by. Raw beef for emeralds. And never used one of these before, but how do we get to these trades? If I click on it, there we go. We get the GUI for that villager, and we can go ahead and make the trade. And if I had some raw beef on me, I'm sure I could open up the trade, and maybe from the particle effects, I tell who it is. Maybe it's this butcher right here. It's a pretty good guess. So we've got our trading post. I wanted to show it to you in the beginning so you can see the trades we start with. Now let's make some more villagers. But before I do that, let's set a new stylistic tone here before I make a new building. Let me grab some blocks. I've got all these quarried blocks to make this fitted quarry stone. These come from this quarried stone that is like smooth stone that doesn't, it's a white smooth stone that doesn't take silk touch to get. And if you cook it, you get this. And if you put these just straight into your crafting grid, you get the fitted quarry stone. And so I wanted to use those as my base block instead of the cobblestone, because we're going to be a nicer, more evolved kind of village here. So, and then with my wand of equal trade, shifting this stuff out couldn't be easier. And so you can just keep changing styles. I actually played with this quite a bit before the episode, and it was easy enough for me to put the hut back just like it was to do this with you guys. So let's go on with this. So yeah, we've got that for that. And then let's play with some marble now. Let's get this one. And let me just grab a few blocks while I'm at it. It's got these green willow wood stairs. I'll talk to you about willow wood in a second. Maybe some amaranth wood and or amaranth. I guess they call that wood. I call it logs. And then here's the planks. Let's grab some of those. And if I need anything else, we can just pop back in here. Oh, and this obelisk is if you take this ghost wood and you, let me see if I can click R on that. Yeah, put it in a, what you call it, a furnace kind of pattern, you get this obelisk, which if you right click on it, it sets your spawn in places like the nether where you can't do it with a bed. I'm sure it would work here too. But anyway, I was just looking for patterns, but I just wanted to mention that because that's a pretty neat block. So let's grab some of that fancy marble and go ahead and put some in here. Remove one of those chestnut logs, and let me shift right click on that. And now we can go ahead and replace those. In that spot, I wanted to use some of these. This is a chisel of the smooth stone, I believe, and I like it a lot. Let's grab that one and put that there. And then in these spots where the wood comes down on the side, let's use those instead because they're pretty cool. And I think that's good. Or we could do it alternatively. We could maybe in the middle put these two. Actually really should put some more doors in here. But I'll work on that later. We're just going to do a quick makeover at this point. So let's go ahead and just replace all of these with, actually, let's do the other one. I got to be careful to change this when I go in the door, otherwise I'll swap out the door. Not exactly what I want. So that's good. This willow wood now that's from forestry, I like that. We'll leave that. That works with where I'm going. But I don't have that yet. But I did look through all my chests and see what I had. And I did have saplings for this biomes of plenty willow trees, which I like a lot. They're very stately trees, very good looking. I like the design of them. But they gave us this nice green wood, which we'll use in a second. Now, I want to change this out. One thing I could do is maybe I could use the amaranth planks instead of that. Or not planks, but the amaranth wood. Let's see how that looks. That's kind of cool. It's a little bit more subtle, a little bit more, yeah, a little bit more understated, I guess. Maybe I could change my mind on those. And then let's redo the roof, because this is boring, I think. And I want to do something else. I thought these looked pretty good. I tried a lot of different ones. I tried stairs made out of the amaranth planks, the purple, which I liked, but the contrast, at least on the outside here, was a little too high. Let me see, I lost that. And it's one of the downsides of doing all this is your inventory gets pretty full. Let's see, let me get rid of that, and that, and that, and that. And I don't need that on me. Give myself a little bit more space. Yeah, and let's put those away for now too. And that. Okay. So shift right click on that guy. Now I found that in replacing stairs, it does it great, but you have to get the orientation matters. If I did it from the side, I get all my stairs going the wrong direction. So, but if I come from this direction, that couldn't be cooler. So there it is, a whole new roof in one click. And over here, let's do it again. So what do you guys think? I think that's a pretty good theme. That works pretty well for me. I'm not sure about this amaranth wood on the side though. I think before I might have just done it with these again. So let's see, let's do that. That's kind of cool. I'll probably play with that a bit, although it gives it the sameness. But I don't want to get hung up because I'm about to use up too much time here. Let me try one more thing. What if I did it with the ghost wood? Let's just get one of them in there. And do that. Oh, did I not get it? Oh, I don't have any on me. Duh. There we go. Okay. Oops. Didn't mean to do that. Let me get those. Dink, dink, dink. And then dink. All right, gotta get that back. Okay. Gotta have a little derpiness in here. I don't know. Let me try one other thing I'm gonna do first, though. Is I wanted to. I got these on me already. I wanted to extend this roof out a little bit. One, just to be a more effective roof, but two, one of the things I've learned watching good builders and their LPs on Minecraft is that depth in a construction really adds a lot. Whenever you just have a plain flat surface like that, it's boring, and it's really, no matter what you do with textures, it's really hard to build interest. So the more different depths that you can create, the more interesting your build can become. So hopefully this does add interest. We'll see. And you guys hopefully are going to give me feedback on what you think about this. And so, yeah, that's a pretty good start. I'm going to, in the interest of time, I'm going to play around. I'm going to change out the rest of this stuff. And then we're going to build something real quick that hopefully will generate a lot of new villagers. And we shall move on. Or actually, we'll be done with this episode. Because time goes so fast and I talk so much. So I'm going to stand right here, focused on this door right there. And I'll be right back. And that's good for now. Just a very simple makeover. I added some more doors to each one of them. So we went from a, 2, 3, 4 door village to a 4, 6, 8 door village. And that will go a long ways towards increasing the number of villagers. But for this last part, I think I'm going to build something right here. I want to build kind of a tower thing that is going to add a lot more villagers without having to build a ton of houses. So to do this, I'm going to use a block that I've been wanting to play with for a while, which is the building guide from Open Blocks. Very simple to make. And there it is. And what this will do is it will basically give you a guide on various shapes. Now I think this is roughly the center of this space that I've been looking at here. And, oh yeah, look, it did it already. It always starts as a little dome. I don't think I'm going to do a dome in this case, even though I love domes very much. But yeah, that's cool. So let me see if I can remember how to use this. Okay, I think I got this building guide figured out. And if I didn't explain well enough before, basically it just gives you these little ghost blocks that aren't real, of course, but that help you place blocks in all kinds of cool shapes that would be complicated to make in Minecraft. So I'm using the cylinder mode to make a circle. And this is as low as I can get it. This counts as 1, even though it's 2. But basically, to make it higher, let's get an empty hand. I'm not sure if I need that, but I click here. And to make it lower, I click down here. And then these two sides make it smaller in 2 different directions. And these 2 sides make it bigger in those same X and Z. And then top and bottom are Y. So I think this is the size that I'm going to make the thing. I'm getting the hover properly here. Yeah, and this is going to be a multi-layered or multi-storied structure. So in the interest of time, since videos don't do too well if they're more than half an hour, I'm going to go ahead and lay down the first course and I will return and we'll go from there. I did that, and I got a pretty grand foundation down based on the cylinder, the circle that was created by that building guide. So this will be the base of this 2 or 3 story thing. It looks pretty big right now. We'll see what happens when I follow through with my plan. But the first step now, or the next step, is to put in doors. And because doors are everything when it comes to a village. And I've got an odd number of blocks across, so I can't put a door right in the middle. But what I think I'm going to do is that's where a pillar goes. And I'm not going to have too much space for walls in here, so I think I'm just going to follow the main block theme of these. Hopefully by establishing this style, I can have a style over here that will fit, even though this building is going to be very different. But what I'm going to do is put down pillars like that. And then that will give me a space to make doors like that. So 2 sets of double doors on each side. We'll have to do that over here, which means replacing these stairs right here with just the solid quarried block. And same thing over here. I guess I could do it the easy way, like that. And then, no, I guess it doesn't work with these blocks. I found that it doesn't work with every single type of block. But I'm going to do most of the rest of this off camera. Anyway, you got the point for that. And then in here, let's see, let's put a column right there. And then we can put a door here, and a door here, and a door here, and a door there. So hopefully that looks all right. It's a little dorky, but we're trying to get lots of doors in, have them make sense, have them each have a landing, and hopefully it doesn't matter which way the doors face. But I'm going to finish this round. Oops, I keep freezing up. I'm not sure what's happening to my FPS. But I'm going to go all the way around like that. Oh my goodness. And I guess I have to relog. And then we'll start on the next story. Alright, I did that all the way around. And what I'm working on now is making a little roof overhang with the Biomes of Plenty willow wood to match those roofs there. And I'm going to take that all the way around. And then we'll be set up to start our second story. So when I get this all around and connected in between, I will meet you there for the next part. Oh yeah, and I made the floor purple. And the floor is purple inside there too. I'm not sure if I showed that to you guys yet. Fancy. Hi, what do you guys think? So, pretty soon, there'll be a lot more valid doors for this village as soon as I put the roof on. See you in a sec. Well, it's already happening. We've got villager love. And all I did was this so far, so I guess that counts already. But, oh yeah, and I've made a little monument to the Magnum torch that is so important to their lives. Oh, wow. That was quick. It is quite an addition to doors. So, up here, what I want to do is I don't trust them to not walk off the roof when I make a second story. So I'm going to take these ghost wood planks and make these ghost wood sticks. And then from that, make ghost wood fences. So let's see how we can put those to use. So let's check it out. I want to leave as much room as possible up here to have the next story, but I think if I put them out here, it's gonna look weird. So I think I gotta put them in here. And the reason I'm using these is I wanted to have a white fence, basically. These might be a little too zebra-like. I'll see. But it doesn't leave me a whole lot of space in there for the next level. One thing about villager breeding is if there are doors above them that they can't get to, it can set up an infinite villager breeding situation, which is kind of my goal right now to start with. And then I might have to take the doors out of the top. We'll see. I hope I like those. They're a little strong. I'm not sure if there's any better fences. Let's just look real quick. I'm sure this episode's going overtime already. Oh well. Regarding the fences, I learned that Extra Utilities has this recipe that combined with microblocks, you can make any fence you want. So I can actually make a quarried fence. I mean a quarried block fence. So I'm going to use those to... Oh, and by the way, the inside is really shaping up here. I think this floor is pretty much done. Got some stairs going up to the top here, best I could fit. And we're getting all kinds of baby villagers and activity everywhere. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and replace these fences with these fences. You guys get the point. So I'll be back with more progress. Oh, and it may look a little weird, but this is going to be the foundation of the second floor as far as pillars and doors. So I'm going to get that far too. Well, it's really coming together. That's done. Time for another roof. Alright, got the roof on there, and there's no way I can really get the villagers up to this part, I think. I'm not sure if there's any stairs that would work right. And these stairs, they act funny around. They tend to run round and around. So I think I'm going to put one more story on it, but I think this is going to be my personal little AFK spot. I am going to put 4 more doors here, just to get a ridiculous amount of breeding going on. And we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, 4 more doors. And then inside here, so I can hang out, I'm going to build this part out of covers. So I think I can just do like that and like that. And then put some glass covers like that. And put a roof on it. So I'm going to do that and show you what it looks like. Alright, and with that last micro block, I'm going to call it done. That third story is a little silly. I think aesthetically it would have looked a lot better if I just finished it up on the second one. So I may take that down later. But it's pretty cool, and especially if that wasn't there, I think it actually still matches, kind of, sort of. But it's definitely having the desired effect of this creating millions and gazillions of villagers. So they like to hang out here on the balcony. Why wouldn't they? Still lots of babies running around. And I just added 44 more doors to the whole system. So that, I don't know if they're all valid doors. They should be if the orientation of the door doesn't matter. I shall see, but we're certainly getting lots more. There's still a lot of babies, so we can't see, but we've added at least 3 trades right now, and there should be some golems popping up pretty soon too, so that will come with a little bit of time. And so now I have a real village, sort of, to go along with that. And they're styly. And anyway, that was fun. I hope that was good for you guys. I don't know how long this episode went. Hopefully not too long. And I'm stuttering with my frame rate a little bit. It's probably just my family internet usage right now. But yeah, this is Monkeypuzzle. And I'm going to sign out and get ready to make another episode for you guys after this. Okay, bye-bye.